So how much battery life should you expect out of your phone? Well, the Motorola Droid RAZR Maxx from Verizon Wireless really raises the bar in terms of what your expectations should be from an Android device. We're at about halfway point with the battery, and we've been unplugged for 22 hours. And part of the reason why we can do that is because Motorola stuffed this phone with a 3300 milliamp battery while still being inside a device that's less than 0.4 inches thin. In fact, the Droid RAZR Maxx is thinner than the Galaxy Nexus and the iPhone 4S. And yet we got over around 8.5 hours of battery life continuously surfing over 4G, which is about 2.5 hours or more, and sometimes double what you'll see from other 4G LTE phones. And yet you're still getting those 4G LTE speeds. As you can see here, we saw anywhere between 10 and 18 megabits per second down, around 8 megabits up. And you also have a really good entertainment experience inside the Droid RAZR Maxx because you have a Super AMOLED display. It's not as the high resolution as you get from the Galaxy Nexus, but we do like the viewing angles, and the color saturation is pretty good. So we'll take a look at what some of the content looks like. So, for example, the Droid RAZR Maxx comes preloaded with Madden NFL 12. You can see that the speakers are pretty loud too. We'll just go in and resume the game. This gives you an example of what you can get in terms of graphics performance. This is a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor on the inside and a gig of RAM. So you certainly have a lot of horsepower here. And if you go back, Motorola, also includes a lot of software out of the box, including Smart Actions. So I'll give you guys some examples. So you can even extend that battery life even further by setting up some rules. So for example, at night you can set off certain radios not to be downloading data in the background. So, I mean, that's the real appeal of the Droid RAZR Maxx. You're getting an 8 megapixel camera. This is a really nice Kevlar back right here. So it's nice and sturdy. On the front you have a Gorilla Glass display, so it's scratch resistant, and you have a front-facing camera for video chat. So, one of the major complaints that we have about the Droid RAZR Maxx is the fact that the camera is just not as good indoors as it is outdoors. So you can see right here that this photo of a picture on the inside came out, pretty fuzzy, but some of our pictures outdoors are very crisp and have a lot of detail. Even if you zoom in, it's actually pretty good. And this is another one that we took outside. So, the photo quality really depends on how much ambient light that you have. This is another picture taken indoors, and it's just a little bit fuzzy, especially when you zoom in. And the photo, the flash definitely helps on the back, but we would expect more from $299 from a camera. The iPhone 4S has a much better indoor performance, but the shutter speed is pretty good on the Droid RAZR Maxx. So this is not running the latest version of the Android software 4.0. This is actually Gingerbread, so you're a generation behind. Some people might want to wait for the latest OS to show up. But in the meantime, Motorola has done some interesting things to enhance the user experience. That includes its own Smart Action software, but also My Gallery. You'll see that social networking plays a role here, so you'll see within the photo gallery a lot of your photos showing up from your friends, which is pretty neat. And then you can also dive into the camera roll, but also Motocast. What this does is allow you to download content directly from your PC, so it has to be on. But that's one of the great things about having a 4G LTE network, is that you can download all that content in a flash right to your device. So it's one of the the ways that you can leverage those 4G LTE speeds. Some other included software. You have the Moto Active, so this device will interact with Motorola's Active Watch, their sports watch that they have. You have trials of Madden NFL and Let's Golf. And Slacker is there for audio, and Quick Office is there for looking at and editing attachments. So overall, you're getting a really good deal. I mean, despite the fact that it's $299, the fact that the Droid RAZR Maxx can outlast all of the 4G LTE phones on the market in terms of battery life really makes this phone worth the $299. This is Mark Spooner with Laptop Magazine, and this is our video review of the Droid RAZR Maxx.